All right, A's Cast Dugout Chats with Jess continues with A's All-Star Brent Rooker. Brent, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here.
So here's the thing. Adding the title All-Star to your name, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's cool. It's obviously something you dream about growing up. It's something that once you get into pro ball and get closer to the big leagues, you realize how hard it is to achieve. So it's something I'm really proud of and something I'll look back on with some pretty fond memories, pretty special experience, for the rest of my life.
Tell me a little bit about your experience there, because I know you were excited to meet like the Shoheis of the world, but you got to take in all the extra stuff too. Obviously, the game was important. We got to walk the red carpet. Tell me about some of the things that stood out.
Yeah, the thing that stood out to me the most, I think, was just kind of walking in the locker room, and I've said this, just kind of seeing all the jerseys hanging up, seeing all the guys who were there, guys I've been watching for years, trying to learn from, trying to emulate things of their swing or parts of their game that I want to improve on or get good at. So kind of walking in there and seeing my jersey hanging up amongst those guys was really, really cool. And getting to hang out, the home run derby, BP, all that stuff, just getting to talk to guys that you compete against but never really get to spend any time with is really cool, and kind of talking about baseball from different perspectives and talking about things outside of baseball too, and just kind of being guys and hanging out was a really fun time.
Just dudes being dudes.
Exactly, that's what it is.
You surpassed the 25 home run mark, and I overheard you saying that reaching that and then surpassing that was kind of a big deal. What's so important about reaching certain numbers like that? Yeah,
before every year you kind of have numbers in your head. You kind of set goals for yourself, and that was one of mine. I thought 25 would be a good number for me. For a lot of reasons, right? That means that I perform well enough to be in the lineup consistently. It means when I was in there, I produced. So that was kind of a big one for me, and being able to achieve goals you set for yourself is always fun, and it kind of what keeps us working hard and wanting to improve and get better.
One goal that I thought was really cool is you were on one team this entire season. How does that add to your success and just your overall overview in playing the bigs?
Yeah, being able to settle in, be comfortable in routine, be comfortable in one place, not constantly moving. I spent last year just kind of living from Airbnb to Airbnb, hotel to hotel, week to week, obviously changing teams 3 different times, going back and forth between 2 different levels throughout the whole season is there's a lot of variability and a lot of changes. So being able to kind of settle in, be comfortable here has been huge, and it's made me enjoy the year even more.
We'll talk about like the extra stuff, like booking Airbnbs and all that stuff. It's stuff we don't really get to talk about. So that's like the extra stuff that we don't get to see.
Yeah. So last year, obviously, traded twice, and then optioned back and forth between both those teams I was on. So it seemed like kind of every week, every 2 weeks, I was trying to check into a new hotel. I was, packing up my car, unpacking my car, moving into a new Airbnb for 4 days just to move out later and find a new one the next week. It's things like that kind of wear on you. And make the year, which is already tiring enough, makes it a little more tiring, a little bit more exhausting. So not having to deal with that this year and being able to settle in has been nice.
Are you a master packer now?
No, I'm terrible at it. I just throw stuff in a suitcase. I don't fold anything, so it's
got anxiety.
Yeah. Just as much stuff as I can fit in a suitcase, fit it in there, and we'll figure it out later. Is kind of my goal.
I literally hate that, but that's okay. That's okay. So you just throw in and just pray for the best?
Yeah, I'll unpack it and then just kind of move from place to place. I do better, I guess, now with obviously having a closet, being able to fold stuff, hang stuff up, and not just living out of a suitcase all year. I've gotten a little bit better, but for the most part, when we go on road trips here, it's pretty neatly organized, pretty neatly packed when we go, and then on the way back, it's kind of a different story.
That doesn't matter. So I heard you talking recently on A's Cast. Obviously, you've dealt with a lot of ups and downs at the plate, but you said mentally you were working with the mental skills coach. Tell me a little bit about that, because we just see you from a physical aspect. How does the mind work help you?
Yeah, Ben does a great job. We've worked through some stuff, whether it's breathing routines pregame to calm nerves and get yourself in a good mental space to go perform. Working through post-game routines, holding on to successes you had during the game and being able to quickly move on from anything you didn't do well, to kind of keep yourself in peak mental form to go out there and compete and perform every night is tough. Those long stretches of failures, long stretches of not having success kind of wear on you and can have you start to doubt yourself, you can lose confidence. So working through those things with him and being able to kind of do it on my own now, work through the processes we put in place and the routines we put in place has been huge for me.
Is that something you can adopt off the field as well?
Yeah, I think working through those things applies to everyday life as well. Whether it's a rough day at home, whether you're just kind of going through some things in your personal life, I think being able to kind of work through those things in the same way we do as athletes could be very, very beneficial.
Let me walk you through the elements of a really good walk-off for you. Gatorade bath, walk-off win, walk on to the stage and perform as Zach Bryan. You said it was probably terrible. You sounded terrible. The band definitely helped you there, but tell me about that night.
Yeah, that was a special one. Obviously, a really big win for us. Walk-offs are always fun. Walk-off homers are even more fun. So being able to do that and then go have a pretty special experience over there, something I didn't really envisioned happening ever. Prior to that day, was really, really cool, and that night was definitely one I remember.
I did the math, and by the math, I did a Google search. Zach Bryan has over 1 billion streams. How many of those are you responsible for?
A lot. I take pride, and I'm a little bit of a music snob in that I've been listening to him since he was pretty much strictly on YouTube in 2018 or 2019. Obviously now he's selling out every arena in the country. So, you have those musicians that you kind of follow from the beginning, and you're happy for their success, but at the same time you're a little bit bitter because you like when you were kind of the only one on them, and you kind of had that to yourself. But it's been really cool. Obviously, being able to get over there and do that, but the success he's having now was awesome.
So you get to say, like, I knew him, with his underground stuff or whatever the people are saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I make sure everyone knows that too whenever that comes up.
Last one, and another name drop, Shohei Ohtani. You were talking about when you were selected to the All-Star team, you want to have him sign this photo of you taking him yard. Then I take a step back, you took Shohei Ohtani yard. What's the approach in facing a guy like that? I know you guys have to concentrate on the actual at-bat, but do you change it up when it's a guy like Shohei Ohtani?
No, you just kind of, with each guy, you're just looking at the pitch arsenal. You're trying to find, what you think you're going to get, what you think you can hit, and what you need to look for in what areas to have the best chance to have success. So we had a good team approach that day. I thought we had a good game plan, and several of us executed it. I got a pitch that I was looking for in a spot that I could handle and put a good swing on it, which, when I'm able to do that, some good things happen. So that was definitely a cool one, though. Obviously, you have all homers are good, all homers are cool, but you have a few that stand out in your mind, and that's one of them for me for sure.
We still want Shohei to sign that, right?
Yeah, we'll still work on that. We talked about it at the All-Star game. We laughed about it, and obviously we'll see where he goes this offseason, but hopefully I'm playing against him for a long time now, and we can work on that.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, guys.